Good morning and welcome to Unity of the Palm Beaches live streaming Sunday celebration. Thank you for sticking with us as we work through that technical issue. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Linda Culbertson and I am the president of the board here at Unity of the Palm Beaches. Thank you for joining us. And now I'd like to ask Reverend Taylor to welcome us in prayer.
Thank you.
And so we breathe into smoothness. We open to this experience this morning and we just open every channel within us, seeing seamless streaming, seeing seamless joining of the heart as we open to this expression of the divine. We breathe, taking that big breath into the heart and releasing. We are grateful for this opportunity. We are grateful for every learning experience along the way. We feel the stirring. We feel the calm in the midst of the storm. We see all flowing forward to reach everyone who steps up for this experience. We see their hearts opened. We see unity, waves and waves of unity created. And we are grateful. And so it is. And amen.
Thank you, Trish. Now for a reading from the Daily Word. The word for today is let go, let God. And the affirmation is, I let go and welcome the divine flow. How many times have I prayed for a resolution to a situation that was troubling me, for guidance along my path, or for a new opportunity, all the while clinging to a desired result? Needing situations to work out a certain way or remaining fixed on the specific outcomes I want cuts me off from the divine flow of life that transcends the circumstances of my life and the limits of my imagination. I decide to let go and let God by releasing any rigid ideas that might impede the divine flow within me. I relax my tight grip on my needs and wants. I pray anew for the clarity to know what is mine to do and release the rest. As I let go and let God, I move toward greater life, love, and peace. And from scriptures, Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own insight. And now we'll enter our time of meditation.
pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
So as we consciously breathe together, as we feel the movement of that beautiful, for most of us, familiar song, a simple yet profound invitation. The beautiful melody, the oh so beautiful voice, the lyric, all pointing to the place of beauty, of simplicity, and yet the place of profundity that is within us. I invite you to allow that invitation. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, deeper into God. Deeper. God. Tap into the willingness in this moment to really intimately experience that depth. Praying within the heart. Feeling the aliveness within your body. The subtle movement that is spirit. That is God life living in you. As you. We do not pray to somehow make that happen. We pray to recognize it is always happening. Always. as our daily word invites us, let go, let go, let go. Release any resistance. Release any need to change what is in this moment, for this is already a moment in God, in Source. And so we let go the words. We let God resonate in the stillness of our being. Be still. Be still. And as we once again hear the music, bring back the words. We continue to feel the depth of our hearts. We feel God alive now. And so it is.
Alleluia, I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaken, but I gotta keep trying, gotta keep my head held high, because there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move, always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb, the struggles I'm facing, these chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments I'm gonna remember, yeah. Just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move, always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. It's the climb. There's always gonna be another mountain. You're always gonna wanna make it move, always gonna be an uphill battle. Somebody's gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast we get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Keep on moving, keep climbing, keep the faith, baby. It's all about the climb. Oh, keep your faith.
Thank you, Trish. It's a great song, a great rendition of that song. I really appreciate it, Trish. Thank you. Thank you. Tim Yancey, Trish's husband, is working to make sure that all of this happens. We've got Bill Betts at his home working on this. We've got Diane in the office here at the temple. So many people. As I was listening to Trish sing that song, I thought, wow, what a way to describe the year 2020, right? It has been a climb. And I'm so grateful to have this team that's helping me, those in front of me trying to pull me up, and some behind me that feel sometimes like they're pushing me. And I don't know about you, but this has been probably in many ways the most remarkable year of my life, my most challenging in many ways. But as I listen to that song and that lyric and that it captures something for me. It points to something that in a certain way, it's not about how all of this ends, though certainly we want to stop the pain and the devastation and the death and the divisiveness for sure. But it's not about eventually what happens. It is about the climb. It is about the internal experience and how we individually and collectively use and relate in this time. I share this week after week after week, and I'm going to share it again today, that just for me, what I appreciate so much is that I never lose sight of, or I don't lose the sense that there's always something else happening. There's something else that is seeking to emerge. And in all of this disturbance, in all of this messiness, in all of this disease and pain and death and divisiveness and this racial eruption, all of these things that are happening in the manifest realm, I don't lose sight of the fact that it's all the content of the collective consciousness arising, because that collective consciousness was leading us to a place where truly it was no longer sustainable. And again, I just invite you into this. This doesn't have to work for you, but I can only share what feels true for me. That if we don't individually and collectively begin to deal with the content of our consciousness, if we do not begin to look deeply at what is within us, and if we do not begin to allow for a deep internal redemption, a deep reconciliation, if we do not begin to, my terminology, if we don't mend or amend our ways, life is no longer sustainable. Our planet is no longer sustainable. Our relationships are no longer sustainable. Our governments are no longer sustainable. We try over and over again to fix and to certainly to control externals and the effects of our world. But until enough of us decide that we're going to do internal work, that we're going to look inside of us, and though it is so easy to project our own shadow out onto the world, we project out what we don't want to deal with internally. We make it about someone else. So we project the stories out. We blame those stories. We blame the effects. We blame what we have not resolved in our own emotional bodies, until we have the courage and the bravery to climb the mountain that is me. I'll just speak for myself. that this entire year, this year of vision, 2020 vision, our theme here at Unity of the Palm Beaches, a whole new world within me now. See, I think I'm finally getting this. I can't do anything about what you choose to do with the world that is inside of you. And I can't do anything about what you project upon me. All I can do something about is what is happening inside of me moment by moment by moment, and more now than ever. And I've been at this a long time, kids, a long time. I've been in Unity 35 plus years. I've done a lot of emotional fluency work. I've really been committed to living a life that will make a difference in this world. And y'all know I do it very imperfectly, but I get up every single day and I commit myself to doing my work. And now more than ever, it feels messier and more confusing. And there's so much to deal with. There is a steep climb. And I am committed that these unity principles, that these unity teachings not just be convenient tools to get what I want. They're not just ideas that can float in my head. These are revolutionary and radical ways of living, that these 5 principles, when they are embodied. See, the 5 principles, the 5, what we call the 5 basic unity principles, we don't make them true by affirming them. We simply align with what is already truth, and we look at where we are misaligned, where we have forgotten the truth of the godness that is down inside of us. That God is I am. There is a law. There are laws of consciousness. And when I pray those laws of consciousness from a deep knowing that because God is first, I am. I align with the law. I pray the law. Then and only then I take inspired action. I begin to become a field of consciousness in which God is. And because God is, and only because God is, I am. And so I, each and every day, allow God to happen inside of me. And no matter how unskillfully I may do that, I climb, I fall. I climb, I rise, I fall. I climb, I rise again. So each and every day, particularly now, at this time, when we have sometimes, in my case, when we have this thing, this internet, this technology, where we can see what's happening in our world in a nanosecond. You know, these technical issues, I am so curious, week after week after week, with this dedicated team of brilliant people that we have working on this. Then there's me who has no idea. And I keep praying to see what I need to know. What can I learn from all of these internet connectivity problems, allowing myself to be seen and heard? You following me? What can I learn? And when I learn what I need to learn, then as a part of that, then what can I contribute? You know what I've always loved about Unity, and I remind you of this often, and some of you may not know a lot about the Unity movement, but Unity has no theology. And it's one of the things that I've always loved and appreciated, though I personally, theology for me is not an enemy. It has brought me to where I am, but I do wholeheartedly believe that we are entering an era in human consciousness where theology it's taken us as far as it can take us when we believe it at the literal level. The languages of our religions, of our world religions, were never meant to be taken literally, and so they are myths, they are archetypal patterns, they are symbols, they are maps that we are meant to follow. But when we make the theology a place where it divides us, where we argue about it, where we think that others have to believe the way that we believe, then theology fails us. And it has failed us for centuries. And so we are coming into a time where theology needs to be completely revolutionized. And see, I think we're already kind of there in unity. We have principles. Unity doesn't tell us what we have to think. I say this over and over, but let this land. Unity doesn't tell us what we have to think. It tries to teach us how to think, how to relate, how to energize, how to direct our energy, how to align with these principles, and then allow these principles to govern our moment by moment experience. And so I believe collectively in our world, we will move from the old theology to a new cosmology. I believe I might have mentioned this last week. Cosmology, the science of the universe, the way in which the universe is unfolding, which is inside of us. So cosmology and even ontology, which is the science of being. So theology will be revolutionized by cosmology and ontology. And so as we begin to really get that something new and profound is unfolding, and it looks really messy, and the hill that we are climbing, the mountain that we are climbing, feels and is indeed very steep. It is leading us to a new plane of experience. It is calling us to be governed by something higher than how we have lived in the past. So we have been sent to our rooms. Some of us are following that. Some of us are choosing this distancing. The distancing, I believe, is in service of a greater connection. But when we refuse to listen to the science, and some of you may well be in that place, bless you where you are. Science is the brilliance of God saying, excuse me, y'all are contagious. The virus is contagious. It is airborne. So stop, stay put, go to your room. If you go out, wear a mask, stay distanced, and ride this out until you can discover in consciousness what has given way to this virus. The virus attacks the weak, the weakest places in consciousness. So where is that for each and every one of us? And whether we have experienced the virus in our bodies, we are all plugged into the one field of consciousness in which this is happening, which means, see, I'm still here on this planet, so I get to make a contribution. I get to care about my fellow humans. I get to allow my actions to be dictated by something greater than my own personal wants, preferences, and desires. See, unity, listen to the word unity, ultimately is all about all is one. All is one. And so each and every choice that each and every one of us make contributes to the all is one. And so how I relate, the way in which I show up, the way in which I do, we're in the days of awe between Rosh Hashanah, the new year in Judaism, and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. We get 10 days when we are invited to do some deep forgiveness work. I love this time of year. I am deep into it. And as is always the case, then things arise for me to see that perhaps I hadn't seen clearly enough. And it invites me into a resolution down inside of me. The world is going to do what the world's going to do. And regardless of what is coming at me, it is what is coming from me that matters. My consciousness, how I relate. And I would invite you into that realization that consciousness always moves from center to circumference. So for all of our attempts at control, this comes up repeatedly in this last week in my devotional group that we do online in our Zoom group. We've talked about that. I'm going to start a class this week, exploring some questions. Again, this issue came up, this whole issue of control. And so as I share with our distancing group, it is so clear to me that control, attempts at control, because you'd think we would get by now that we cannot control the external realm, that things are happening now more than ever, that we get twisted into a knot trying to control the externals, which are only the effects of what's happening in the internal. And so issue after issue after issue, we try to control. We can't control. We try again. We climb, we try, we struggle, we employ every single strategy we can. And we are learning individually and collectively that it is not about control. There is something inside of us that is seeking to emerge, that is calling for our cooperation, that if we would stop trying to control, we would find the place within us. The God is, I am, that is within us. See, we try to force, but there is a force within us that knows it doesn't have to force. There is this power within us, the power of the all is one. When you know that all is one, see, then there's nothing missing. There's nothing to fix or to control. So every time you find yourself trying to push, trying to control, trying to manipulate, trying to work your program, not in the beneficial way, and you begin to, wait, let me step back. Let me drop down inside. You know, this month we're exploring the capacity, the attribute of faith. You cannot have faith and control. Now, faith is an aspect of consciousness. You always have faith. But when you have faith in the externals, you will try and force. When you have faith in the internal, in the godness that is within you, when you place your faith in the something greater, in the all is one, you align yourself with the force that doesn't need to force. You allow the life force that simply flows. Again, from center to circumference. But because we're so mentally identified with our stories, see, this is the wrong instrument. The place of genius that is within us, the place where that flow comes through, isn't in the mind, it's in the heart. We say this week after week after week, but in a world of collective consciousness, which is so mind identified, which is telling stories that are less than what we are, less than who we are, and then believes the stories and then projects them onto the world and onto each other. And we're so convinced we're right. It disconnects us from the faithfulness, the flow that is within us, the place of a deeper knowing. See, from center to circumference, in faithfulness, the all is one. There's nothing to fix, and there's everything to emerge. We intend, we attend, we allow. We feel the flow down in our bodies. Again, not in the head. Drop out of the head. Your body will tell you instantly when you're trying to control. You'll feel the disconnect. You'll feel the disruption. You'll feel the resistance. See, there are whole movements in the last year or so, especially, it's been there. But this notion of resist, take to the streets, resist. Resistance in the long run is never fruitful. For all of our resistance, look what we've done and what we continue to do. So, do we need to take to the streets? Well, perhaps that, as of yet, isn't my path, but that's the path of some people. My path is the path of prayer and of consciousness and of principle and of deep unskillfulness, but of just as deep resolution. That every day is another new day inside of me. So just as our daily word, we're using yesterday's daily word, it's let go, let God, the one repeated affirmation, the only repeated affirmation through all of the 95 plus years of the publishing of the daily word. This is the one that has been in every single issue. And there's a reason for that. So the affirmation, I let go and welcome the divine flow. I welcome the divine flow. The divine flow is already in me. It is already active. It is already seeking expression. And when for me, I always, I kind of reframe that particular, that verbiage, that invitation to let be, let go, let God. Cosmology, ontology, the unfolding, the unobstructed unfolding of beingness consciousness. Flowing. Look at that scripture from Proverbs. Trust in the Lord. The Lord is always the law of love. Remember, in theology, it is a super guy in the sky. See, the old theology that says if we pray really hard that some outer force is going to save us, it's an illusion. It will never happen. It has to come through us. We have to save ourselves by relying on the God that is within us. So we are called to trust in the law of love with all of our hearts, not with our heads. And do not rely on your own insight. Somebody just shared with me the other day, we need to trust our insight. Well, we need to trust in the higher, capital H, capital I, insight, a higher vision. If we trust in our programming, if we trust in the stories, the habitual stories that we have told, if we trust in the false beliefs that have given us a false reality, see, that's where we need to step back and go, wait a minute. If you look at your life and you look at the challenges and you look at the disturbances in your life and in your relationships, find the common denominator. See, that's where it gets rich and juicy. That's my call to humbleness. I'm the common denominator. I'm the one who has believed the stories, has projected that out, right? Subject becomes object. That's how consciousness works. Subjective to objective. So we're all participating. So my consciousness co-creates my world. If there's a problem that I'm identifying with and trying to control out there, I am not seeing rightly. I'm using the wrong operating system. And until enough of us really get that and begin to allow the law to live within us, begin to recognize that everything is consciousness. God is, I am today. Third week, third principle, there is a law. When I'm disturbed, I'm misusing the law. And so every disturbance is a blessing. It don't matter to me that it doesn't feel good. It doesn't always feel good. And until we as a movement, as New Thought spirituality, as we call it, New Thought, we must grow up beyond the demand for comfort and preference and material attainment. We must get beyond that and recognize that a whole new world within me now. Seek first the kingdom, the one consciousness. Place your faith in something greater. Forgive your own stuff. See the world differently, and a new world must emerge. It must flow forth from center to circumference. So when you force, flowers don't force. There's no force to the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. There's like this natural, wondrous orchestration that is in all of us. Find it down inside of your body and then follow it faithfully. Follow it faithfully. Follow the flow. The force. What movie is that from? I don't know, because I didn't see any of those kinds of movies. The force be with you? Well, the force is within you. Let it come forth. Release your demands. Release your attempts at control. Follow the flow. Become what you're meant to be for the sake of all living beings. It's our time to shine. It's our time to shine. Now is the time. We are the ones. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Taylor. And we're reminded one of the laws of consciousness is the law of prosperity and the fact that when we give, we receive. And so we ask that you give and support this ministry. We don't meet in person anymore, but we still have bills, and we'd love to have you support the ministry. If you already are, thank you so much. And if you're not, please consider signing up for automatic giving, or you can make a donation by Givelify. There's all kinds of options. Just go to our website at unitypalmbeach.com. And stay up to date on what's going on at Unity. As Reverend Taylor said, he has a new class starting this Wednesday at 7 p.m. You can find out more on the website. We also have the daily devotional meetings online and lots of other things going on. So please take a look and stay connected with your community. And now I'd like to say our prayer for protection. Please say it with me right where you are if you know the words. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever God is, I am, and all is well. And now Trish will sing us out with the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Have a great day.